let's get in the ring in WWE. Talk a little bit about Raw, because I know, Danny, you briefly mentioned this earlier. You think Raw hasn't been that bad. Now, you're talking to at least two people who have pretty much stopped watching. But you said despite the impressively low rating, it's really not as bad as everyone thinks it is.
Okay, so I don't like how much positivity was in that. I feel like that makes it seem like I really enjoyed it, but I'm just saying by Raw's really bad and low standard, it was an okay show.
I believe the
It
term you
had,
used was unbelievably okay.
yes, unbelievably okay is the nicest way I can put it. And by that I just mean there was two good matches and one good story beat throughout the show. I mean, the numbers were bad. I forgot the exact numbers, but it was one of Raw's lowest ratings in a while, and it's like really close to their all-time low. But the show itself was fine. But it is the problem that Raw always has is that there's nothing to grab people. It's hard to grab people for 3 hours, and then when you're not even trying to grab people, like when you do have a good show, it still doesn't matter. And this wasn't even good. This again was just okay. They had a good fatal five-way match for the women that made pretty much everyone look good at some points. And it had a story beat of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair squaring off like they did at the end of the Rumble throughout the match. And the crowd was very into it, showing that both these women are stars and will continue to be stars, and that's in Rhea's case, that's despite all of her booking from the summertime. And in Bianca's case, I mean, she's just as much of a star as she was a few months ago. It's pretty much the same. But they started a feud for Bianca with Doudrop throughout this match. They built to Zelina and Carmella being number one contenders for the tag titles, which is a whole problem in itself, which ties back to what Chad said earlier. Why does WWE hate women? Because they fired so many women. They don't have any tag teams to fight for the tag team titles.
It's a He-Man Woman Haters Club.
But yeah, so that was pretty much it. I just really liked that one match and all the Kevin Owens stuff. Kevin Owens is having some nice character moments where he's turning heel, but he doesn't want to turn heel, or he doesn't believe he's turning heel. Like he wants everyone to believe him when he says he's still a face, but everyone's like, we know how this goes, Kev. You're going to turn heel. And it's a nice story beat for Kevin. It's interesting. But, if you notice all the things I've talked about Raw, none of that has anything to do with Survivor Series, besides the fact that the women in the Fatal Five-Way are the Survivor Series team, which is, that's how you build to a 5-on-5 tag match, is you have one team of 5 fight each other. That's Survivor Series in like 2 weeks, and no one gives a fuck.
I was gonna say before the show, I had to ask when Survivor Series was. I know it's always around Thanksgiving, and I completely forgot it was coming up. I mean, James, I believe you also mentioned too that they announced the teams on Twitter, like with no pomp or circumstance or nothing. They just tweeted them all out.
They revealed member by member on social media who it was going to be, and the teams are nice, but I think it was Ricochet who tweeted, "What happened to qualifying matches?" And I would have been fine if they just revealed the team on the show, have like a moment of like who's going to be on the team, some excitement.
Yeah.
I like qualifying matches. I think it's a good way to get people like hyped for the upcoming match, to highlight the guys. But I don't know. Like, it feels like WWE gave up on Survivor Series a long time ago. And what was once one of the big 4 pay-per-views, like as they were referred, it was Survivor Series, Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania. It just feels like a tradition that they don't want to let go of, but they don't actually care about. And
it's a bottom 4 pay-per-view now.
Yeah. And I want to care. I love Survivor Series. I love it. it's done well. Like when
NXT won all of those matches that one
that
year.
was great.
That was a good
That
one.
was great. When Adam Cole came up and confronted Daniel Bryan, like that was awesome. That was awesome. But I don't know. I know we only mentioned the women, but like the other thing they did was with Bobby Lashley taking.
Oh
Dominic
yes, I wanted to
Mysterio's
bring
spot.
that up because it's so dumb. It's hilarious.
Go for it.
But go ahead.
For it. No, go for it. Go for it. I was just
So
why, you know?
first of all, almost all of Raw's team were SmackDown roster members a month ago. But you know, we'll ignore that and pretend that they have some attachment to Raw. Dominic Mysterio was on Team Raw, and then you know they announced this on Saturday on social media, right? Like on Saturday they announced the teams. So somewhere between Saturday and Monday they realized, oh shit, Bobby Lashley is still here. He should probably be on this team. And why did we put Dom on this team? Like it doesn't make sense in kayfabe or in any way really. So they just out of nowhere, Adam Pearce, who's been as neutral of a character as you can be, he's very bland, he's very vanilla by design. He's not a heel, he's not a face, he's nothing. He comes out and all of a sudden is basically a heel and is like, everyone on the team's a former WWE champion, except you, Dom. He's like, and for some reason, I want Team Raw to win. Team Raw has to win this. I manage both shows, but I'm really invested in Raw winning this match. And then he's like, "What? It's like if you can prove to me that you deserve to be on this team by taking on a former WWE champion, but if he wins, he's going to take your spot." So Bobby Lashley comes out, beats the shit out of Dom because that's Bobby Lashley's new character. He beats up Legend Sons, and he beats up Rey Mysterio too. And then they're like, oh my God, these guys are going to have to be on a team in 2 weeks. And they just, again, like, you know, they announced the team on Saturday. And by Monday, they're already like, fuck, tear up that script. And here we go. They changed the team within 2 days. They couldn't even make it one Raw. The team had not even been announced on Raw, really. It just, it was hilariously stupid.
Like, I want to believe that was always the intention. Like, they wanted that.
They want you to believe that.
Right? Like, oh, we put Dom on the team so he could lose the spot to Bobby. Then why fucking do it? Like, why? Because at best, Bobby feels like a substitute. He feels like an afterthought. Like, he wasn't initially thought of for this role. You got to remember Bobby Lashley. That doesn't look good. And then he had to win his spot by beating Dominic Mysterio, who, good for Dom for pursuing this dream. But
he's no Hook. So
yeah, he's no Hook. Damn right, he's no Hook. I'm sorry, I got hyped. He's not Hook.
All right, Chad has been chomping at the bit here for like 5 minutes now. Get after it.
I honestly just wanted to say that Survivor Series is now bragging rights 2.0. It's ridiculous. It's a shitty pay-per-view. It's not in the Big Four anymore. The only thing I am mildly excited about with Survivor Series is that I don't have to fucking watch Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, AJ Styles, and Almost in the same fucking ring for the 159th time. Back to you, Ev.
well, now I'm thinking, are they doing a tag team Survivor Series match? Because then they might be in the same ring, but on the same side. I
would think that they would go against who's the tag team
they would face the champs.
The Usos, yeah, because it's bragging rights 2.0. Yeah.
Sorry, this is how much I don't care. I don't even remember how the damn matches work.
I'm with you, bro.
Xavier Woods put something really fun on Twitter that I hope that they do, but the fact that it was on Twitter and no one else is talking about it makes me think it'll never happen, or at least not this year. But to add some stakes to it, he said the winning team should be able to secure the final 5 spots in the Royal Rumble. And
That'd
the
be cool.
losing team would have to get the first 5 spots of the Royal Rumble.
Get Xavier in creative ASAP.
Serious.
That'd be
I
cool.
mean, they're already not paying him for the other job he's doing. So.
Yeah, might as well. He wears a lot of hats. Although I like that idea. Although I don't like the idea of the final entrant being told to us ahead of time. But you know, other than that, I still think it's a great idea. But,
It's
yeah,
something.
give it stakes. Yeah, it's something. Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna
Well-
screw the Royal Rumble up anyway, so they might as well
What?
do
Are you
something new.
kidding me? What track record are you going based off of when you say that?
20 years.
I mean, even if they do that, and you could just be like, they bring back somebody like when they brought back Edge, you could just be like, oh, he's, you know, SmackDown signed him or whatever. You could just kind of do it that way if you wanted. This way, you could still have surprises without it being like, okay, it's got to be like one of these dudes from the roster. Maybe just a way to work around that.
Do any of you remember when Survivor Series used to lead into Royal Rumble, where they would start building these stories so that we would kind of know what was going on in Mania season right around the corner? I'm so tired. I'm exhausted and lost with what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, it's a lack of continuity.
Right.
I want to believe, like, at this point, typically, it's always been said that creative knows, or at least Vince knows, how he wants to book for Mania by this point. Like, he knows what he wants Mania to be. And I'm sure if we really think about it, we could tell we could figure out the Mania card right now. At least the high end of the card, we could do.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. Personally, I'm sick of Survivor Series being Raw versus SmackDown. Like, I like the old days where it's like, you know, Raw had a match, SmackDown had a match, and that was it. But
I like it. I just don't like the build anymore because first they have the draft way too close to Survivor Series because, like Danny said, the majority of Raw's team was on SmackDown no less than 3 weeks ago. So that's really dumb. There's no stakes to, like, it's just brand supremacy. That's not stakes. Like you said, it becomes bragging rights. Exactly. So that's dumb. And then after they did the one, I guess this was right after, whenever Becky led SmackDown into Raw and Nia broke her nose. After they did that angle, they've tried to do that every year since, and it is so played out. And
stale.
So often they ignore characters, their tendencies, just for the sake of brand supremacy. Like, I remember one year there were women invading. I don't even remember what show she was on, but Bailey came in and like blindsided somebody and jumped her. And this was like face hugger Bailey, like just jumped somebody. Bailey jumped somebody. Like, they just throw everything out the window. It becomes Raw versus SmackDown. Nothing else matters. And the booking just becomes so bad, and it's just gotten so stale them doing it over and over and over again. Or not them doing Raw versus SmackDown over and over again, just the same thing leading into those shows every year. That it sucks. It's boring now. It's repetitive.
And it's funny because you use like the Becky one as an example, but even by then it was repetitive. It was just like the best one they've ever done and the most iconic because of everything that happened around it. Like, even then, like, it was already like, that was what, 3 years in to the brand split again and having this Raw vs. SmackDown Survivor Series. And it's like they just did it with the men the previous years, but it was the first time the women did it. And like you said, with people betraying their characters, Becky and Charlotte were working together during that, you know, invasion, despite them literally having a last woman standing match like 3 weeks earlier. So yeah, that's the biggest problem, because I actually don't mind the brand versus brand stuff. Like, I don't care. Like, we got into the Wednesday Night Wars. I have no problem with them fabricating their own war, but like, yeah, it's just the inconsistencies of how, like, why would they care? You know, like, why does Dom, who's only ever wrestled for SmackDown, care about Raw that he's been there for 2 weeks? You know, like, that part is absolutely the worst part.
And that Becky
And
one
we
was,
spent more time on this than they spent planning this so far. Just
Yeah.
so you know.
Agreed.
and that
And no
Becky
title
one-
matches again.
Yeah, that Becky one was the beginning of the man too, like the start of that run, and her leading SmackDown in like that, especially because I think it involved Ronda Rousey and her shit talking Ronda.
Yeah.
Just it made it so much cooler, and that's why, and it catapulted Becky, especially because she got her face busted. It catapulted Becky to another stratosphere. But that's like the only time I feel like it really, really worked. Ever
Exactly.
since then, it's just been like, all right, you're trying to do that again? Like, come on. It's not going to work again. All right. Have we got all our frustrations out about Raw and Survivor Series?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
I do believe that is the proper answer. Whatever.